Well, what is up, CCH fam? It's Kayle here with another week of our summer devotional series on Illuminate. And I'm currently at the park. I'm at Commons, and I'm going to possibly be interrupted by some lawnmowers. You might be able to hear in the distance right now, so I apologize in advance. It's just a beautiful day, and I felt like I needed to be outside to record this. And so this week we're going to dive into the books of Nahum and Philemon, something like that. I'm still not sure how to pronounce that name, but that's okay. We can struggle through that one together. But I wanted to update you guys real quick on my summer. My summer's been good. It's been busy, but totally different busy than like during the school year. Just trying to enjoy the time that I have with people in the summer that I don't get to see as often during the school year. And so I've been really just soaking up a ton of time with my people at Cedar Creek, and just enjoying getting to serve on the worship team with those guys, and making some deeper connections in a small group with people there. And it's just been really awesome. I really love my community at Cedar Creek, and so it's been great to have time with them. I also moved, and so I moved in with Amira. We live above Ike and Lance now, and so it's been a blast to just like move in with them and spend time with them. But moving is hard. It takes so much work, so I'm like super grateful that's over. And then you can kind of see back there, some of you were following along my journey, but I got a new car, so that right there that you can kind of see is my new to me vehicle. Some of you knew that I was looking for a specific like kind of vehicle, and it was just awesome to like watch the Lord provide that, and I love it a lot, and hoping it doesn't cost me too much money to like fix up at different times. But I'm excited to like spend some time working on it with my dad too. So my summer's been good. It's been flying by really fast, and I hope that it slows down a little bit, but I also really miss you guys, and I'm excited for our time to be back together. So the Lord will provide everything, and I'm excited for what is to come. We're also going to take a brief intermission for this lawnmower to drive by. That guy was like the nicest dude ever. He just stopped and was like, I'm going to go mow in a different part of the park so you can keep recording your video. Wow, what a guy. Thankful for him. So let's dive into the book of Nahum first. And guys, I have just loved this series. Some of you might know this about me, but I like love learning about the minor prophets. I love reading them, but I haven't been super intentional in spending a lot of time reading them. And so for the first summer ever, I have been like sticking to the reading plan, and have been just like loving every week of it. And being completely honest, I've never like stuck with a summer reading plan like this, and so I'm just like really loving it. I hope you guys are loving it too. But man, in this book this week, a couple things that just really stuck out to me. And if you watch the Bible Project video, you might have got to see a little bit of this. But I really just the whole first chapter, truthfully, was just really good. And something that through this summer series that I've really been trying to do is writing down attributes of God's character. And so as we're learning about him, like throughout my Bible, I've just been like even in verse 2 here, like for an example, like the Lord is a jealous and avenging God. And so like I wrote down next to it, like God is jealous. And then he goes on to talk about God's wrath, and I'm like, God is powerful. God is slow to anger, God is just, and I just list out who God is. And guys, it's been so good for me. It's been so good for my prayer life too, because as I'm praying through different things and different seasons of life and changes that are going on, I've just been like, yeah, God, like here's all of the things that I'm feeling, here's all the things that I'm experiencing, going through, but God, I'm remembering who you are. And that's what this has been really good for me with, is just remembering who God is. And so I challenge you, as you read scripture, to just look for God's character, look for attributes of who he is, and just jot it down like right next to it, because it's been so good, and it has just helped me truthfully like remember who God is. And I also really love I just love verses 5 and 6 when he's talking about like the mountains quake before him and the hills melt away and the earth trembles at his presence and all who live in it, and who can withstand. And that really just stuck with me, like who can withstand the Lord Almighty, who can withstand him? And gosh, it's just so good. Like God is in control of everything. he's got it all. There's nothing that he can't do, and none of us are him. None of us are more powerful than him, but he holds us all in the palm of his hands, and he has so much compassion and mercy and love, and man, that just like brings so much peace. And then I really love when we get to verse 7. Like, this is just like cherry on the top. Like, I love this. But the Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust him, but with an overwhelming flood, he will make an end of Nineveh. He will pursue his foes into the realm of darkness. And it's just this reminder, right in the middle, a promise of who God is, that although God, he hates what Nineveh is doing, he hates the destruction of things, he hates the worldliness that we live in, and we're so similar to these people, but he leaves this promise in the middle that he's good and a refuge in times of trouble, and he cares for those who trust in him. And so although there's all of this destruction and there's this hurt and these things that it's like, man, God, why would you do that? Why would you send a nation to attack another nation? Why would there be a war? He's saying, I'm still good. I'm a refuge in times of trouble, and I care for you. And I love that this is just in the middle of the chapter, and in the middle of the whole thing, there's this promise of who God is. And man, that's just powerful to me. It's powerful to know that in the midst of everything else going on in the world, going on in my life, in my world, he is good, and he is a refuge, and he cares. And then I want to jump into chapter 2, and this just has really just kind of stuck with me all week, and I've just sat with it. But going back to where I talked about like God's promises and remembering his character and who he is, verse 2 says the Lord will restore the splendor of Jacob. And restore just has really stood out to me. And so the idea of God bringing restoration, and so I really just began to wonder, what is restoration? What does restoration mean? It's a word that we're familiar with and we know, but the definition of restoration is the action of returning something to a former owner, place, or condition. And in that definition, the thing that really stuck out to me is returning something to a former owner. Oftentimes when I think of restoration, I think of things being restored back to their condition or their place, much like this is also saying, but being returned to their former owner. And that's really what's just stuck with me, is that God is restoring things back to himself. We have taken things in this world and we've brought them to us, and we've held our hands really close around them, and we've clenched our fist and been like, God, I just want this. I want to take control of this. I want to do this thing. I want to pursue this person. I and it's been all about me. It's been all about us. And what God is saying in restore is he wants to restore things back to himself. He wants to restore things back to him. He wants to restore my role in his kingdom back to being his daughter and not my own God and my own ruler. And so my question with that I've been just wrestling with is, what is God restoring in your life? What is God restoring in my life? And what do I need to turn back into his hands and take out of my own? And lastly, I want to just jump really quick into Philemon. And similarly, restoration has stood out to me there. And I really just love the idea of restoration of relationship that is happening here. Paul is pleading that Philemon restore a relationship, and I love that Paul says in verse 8, I could be bold and order you to do what you ought to, but yet I prefer to appeal to you on the basis of love. And so although Paul is calling Philemon to an act of restoration, an act of restoring a relationship, he's saying that I'm going to appeal to you on the basis of love. I'm not going to force you, and I'm not going to call you out, but I'm just going to ask you to do something, and I'm going to walk with you, and I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to encourage you. And so in my question of what needs restoring in your life, what things do you need to restore, I also want you to wrestle with who are you giving permission to walk with you through that process of restoration? Who gets to walk side by side with you and help you restore things back into God's hands, back to their rightful owner and out of your own. And so, guys, I hope that your summer has been fantastic. I hope that you have had an encouraging summer wherever you're at, whether you are somewhere completely new, doing an internship across the country, or you are back home with your family, or you're hanging out here in Angola. I hope your summer's been good and encouraging and life-giving. For real, I hope you wrestle with restoration with me. I'm still trying to figure out the things that should be restored in my life and where the Lord is leading me with that. And so I'm here to walk with you guys. You can count on me if you need somebody to walk with you through this. And I'm going to count on you guys too. So I hope you're having a great summer. Hang in there. Have a blast with whatever is left. I hope to see some of you at the summer retreat. And also, if you want to move in early and help us move in the freshmen and run the root beer kegger and do all of that fun stuff, make sure you let us know, because we have to let Trine know soon. So we'll catch you guys soon. Love you, and I am praying for you. And yeah, have a great week.